Tonight, go outside and look up. The moon is there. It's always there. You've seen it 10,000 times. You've never once thought about what happens if it isn't. Nobody does. And that's exactly the problem. Because the moon isn't decoration. It isn't a nightlight. It isn't something poets write about because it looks pretty. The moon is the reason you are alive. And it is leaving. Let's go back. 4.5 billion years ago. Our solar system is brand new. The sun exists. Earth exists. But it barely looks like Earth. No oceans. No atmosphere worth mentioning. Just a hot, spinning rock. Then something hits it. A planet the size of Mars, scientists call it Theia, slams into the early Earth at roughly 40,000 kilometers per hour. The collision is so violent that both objects partially melt. Chunks of Earth and Theia are thrown into orbit around the young planet. Over thousands of years those chunks clump together. That clump becomes the moon. This is not mythology. This is not theory. This is the leading scientific explanation for why the moon exists, and why it is chemically almost identical to Earth's mantle. Because it literally came from Earth. But here's what nobody tells you about that collision. It was the luckiest accident in the history of this planet. Because without it, you don't exist. Not you specifically. Not humans. Not complex life. Not anything bigger than a bacterium. Here's why. Earth spins on a tilted axis. Right now that tilt is about 23.5 degrees. That tilt is why seasons exist. Summer in the northern hemisphere when it tilts toward the sun, winter when it tilts away. Predictable. Stable. Life-sustaining. That tilt has stayed almost exactly the same for hundreds of millions of years. Because of the moon. The moon acts as a gravitational anchor. Its mass stabilizes Earth's tilt the way a gyroscope stabilizes a spinning top. Without the moon, Earth's axial tilt wouldn't stay at 23.5 degrees. It would swing. Wildly. Scientists have modeled what happens to Earth's axial tilt without the moon. The results are not subtle. The tilt could vary anywhere between near 0 degrees and over 85 degrees over millions of years. At near 0 degrees, the poles point almost directly at the sun. The equator becomes permanently dark and frozen. The poles become unbearably hot. At 85 degrees, Earth is essentially lying on its side. One pole faces the sun for half the year in constant blazing daylight. The other sits in total darkness for 6 months. Then they switch. The seasons don't just become extreme. They become extinction events. Temperatures at the poles would swing by hundreds of degrees between summer and winter. The winds would be unlike anything alive today could survive. Hurricanes, storms more powerful than anything in recorded history, would tear across continents. No ecosystem on Earth could adapt fast enough. And here's the thing about ecosystems. They don't just struggle when conditions become extreme. They collapse. Catastrophically. Suddenly. Without warning. Every forest. Every ocean. Every food chain. Gone. But that's not the only thing the moon is doing. Every single day, twice a day, the moon pulls on Earth's oceans. You know this as tides. But tides aren't just water moving up and down a beach. Tides are what made life possible in the first place. Here's how. About 3.5 billion years ago, life on Earth existed only in the oceans. Single-celled organisms floating in water, completely dependent on that water to survive. For life to move onto land, it needed a transition zone. A place where ocean and land meet repeatedly. Where organisms could slowly, over millions of generations, adapt to both environments. That transition zone is the tidal zone. The strip of coastline that is underwater at high tide and exposed at low tide. Every day. Twice a day. For billions of years. The organisms that survived in the tidal zone, getting wet, drying out, getting wet, drying out, were the ones that eventually developed the ability to survive on land. Every land animal that has ever lived. Every insect, reptile, mammal, bird. Every human being who ever walked the earth. Descended from something that learned to survive in the tidal zone, which the moon created. Remove the moon. The tidal zone shrinks to almost nothing. The transition from ocean to land either never happens, or happens so slowly that complex land life never develops before some other extinction event wipes the slate clean. We never exist. But we're not done yet. The moon also affects something you've never thought about. Earth's rotation speed. When Earth first formed, it spun much faster. A day on early Earth was only about 6 hours long. The moon's gravitational pull has been slowly applying a braking force to Earth's rotation ever since the collision. Over billions of years, it has slowed Earth's spin down to the 24-hour day we have now. Why does that matter? Because a 6-hour day means wind speeds that would make today's strongest hurricanes look calm. The atmosphere on a fast-spinning Earth would be a permanent violent storm. The temperature difference between the day side and night side of the planet would be so extreme that the atmosphere itself would be in constant violent motion. Stable weather patterns. Stable climates. Stable enough for complex ecosystems to develop. All of it depends on a 24-hour day, which the moon gave us. Now here's where it gets truly unsettling. The moon is not staying. Every year, the moon drifts approximately 3.8 centimeters further from Earth. That sounds like nothing. But it has been drifting for 4.5 billion years. When the moon first formed, it was 3 times closer to Earth than it is now. The tides it created weren't gentle. They were hundreds of meters high, reshaping continents. And it's still leaving. In roughly 600 million years, the moon will be far enough away that total solar eclipses will no longer be possible. The moon won't be large enough in the sky to fully cover the sun. In a few billion years, the moon's stabilizing effect on Earth's axial tilt will begin to weaken significantly. The tilt will start to drift. Slowly at first. Then faster. The seasons will begin to destabilize. We won't be around to see it. The sun will have expanded and made Earth uninhabitable long before then. But the point is this. The moon has a lifespan as Earth's protector. And we are living in the middle of it. There's one more thing. And this one is the part that genuinely keeps astronomers up at night. When scientists look at other rocky planets in our solar system, Mars, Venus, Mercury, none of them have a large moon like ours. Mars has 2 tiny moons, Phobos and Deimos. They are essentially captured asteroids. They have no meaningful effect on Mars's axial tilt. And Mars's axial tilt has been chaotic throughout its history, swinging between 10 and 60 degrees over millions of years. Mars today is a frozen desert with almost no atmosphere. It once had liquid water. It once had a thicker atmosphere. Some scientists believe it may once have had conditions suitable for life. Then its tilt went unstable. And whatever was there was erased. When we look at Mars, we might be looking at what Earth becomes without the moon. We might be looking at what Earth was always supposed to become. Theia hitting Earth wasn't supposed to happen. It was a random collision in a chaotic young solar system. The probability of an impact at exactly the right angle, at exactly the right speed, creating a debris field at exactly the right distance to form a large stable moon was astronomically small. It happened once. In 4.5 billion years of Earth's history. It happened exactly once. And that one random accident is the reason every human being who ever lived was born. Is the reason every song ever written was written. Every war ever fought. Every child ever born. One rock, one collision, one moon. So tonight, when you go outside and look up, look at it differently. That's not decoration up there. That's the reason you're here. That's the reason any of us are here. And it's leaving, 3.8 centimeters every year. Slowly. Quietly. Without asking.